Hey everyone! Now I'm constantly asked how to make really aesthetically pleasing maps, like you see in 1v1 maps from certain creators. Let me show you that right now. First, when you just make a map, there are a few things you need to know. You could use one of these starter islands, but a lot of people do not know how to get just water, because you cannot delete the ground here. To get just water, you start with a Kevin floating island map. You can name it whatever you want, and then when you set portal to it, it will bring you to a map where you can actually delete everything. Here, as you can see when I'm gliding in, there are just these part islands. And these islands I can go ahead and just delete one by one. I can increase my speed to quickly do that all, and then I will be left with a plain, just water-filled map. Now then, the next part has to do a lot with the outside of the map. And there are a few things you could do to make it look good. First, I recommend starting with the very center of the map. And then, when you're positioned here, you could change the background in one of two ways. You could go into Settings, My Island, and change the background. Or you can go into Devices, and there is a certain device which allows you to set the background for a specific area. It's a sky dome. When you place down a sky dome, you're able to select all of the settings as you would previously, just for one specific area. And that way, you can go out of that area and have a completely different look. Now, I'm going to show you it without the sky dome. There are a bunch of options you can choose from here on my island. The first I recommend is changing the time of day. But at 8 p.m., it's already pretty close and makes this nice, beautiful sunset, which is really bright. If you choose to 9 p.m., it is very low, the sun, and 10 already is nighttime. This nighttime does have a cool view. It has this massive red view. Now, on the other hand, you can also choose 4 a.m., and that is the sunrise time. 4 a.m., and there we go, the sun is on the opposite side, and it's making this nice view. Now then, you can also go ahead and change things like the light brightness. You can make it to full, or you can make it a bit dimmer. The dimmer you are, the more visible the sun is going to be. Normally, I like to keep it at 100%, which is the default, and rather than changing the brightness, I like adding some fog. Now, for a map that I recently made, I like to select 30% fog, make that fog black. That already makes this a really beautiful appearance. Now, if I want more of it to be black and red, I could even change the light's color to be red, giving this beautiful map look. This is the settings for that look. Another option could be just plain nighttime, 12 a.m., with a really dim light brightness, but some nice white light and no fog. This makes it look like the moon and it's nighttime. It also looks pretty nice. Now there is the moon here, what you're seeing. The moon is very bright, and so what if I want to make sure it looks like night? I could lower the brightness even more, and now it looks a lot more like it's nighttime. With this, a very cool idea is to change fog to red or even green, and add a really light green fog. Even 10% would be nicer, and this makes it look like an alien planet, which looks very good for certain maps. Now that I could test around and go more with this. What I could do is just default the fog color, make it just pretty much invisible, and then with the moon here, I can go into some other options, which are actually in a device called the bound barrier. This barrier device can be placed anywhere again, and I prefer to make it, and here you can again see different barrier styles. Now, to make this all work, people have to be inside the barrier, and to do that, you're going to have to change the zone shape to hollow, and then you can make the box a bit bigger. Now, as translucent as this truly ugly color, but some really nice ones could be if you want to make a quick map, you don't want to actually build it all out. A pure black map. You can do the same thing with the wood stone, red plate, brick, gloss black, sky blue, red forest, blue forest, and nebula. Nebula, when it actually gets really cool, makes this wonderful effect as if you're in space. And this is already very beautiful for certain players, which I very much like for certain maps. This is how to make your map aesthetically pleasing. Thank you for watching. See ya!